Hey, what's up guys? Will here for GSM Arena. Nothing has come out with two new mid-rangers, and you may be wondering which one to get. First, there's the lower tier Nothing Phone 3A. And then there's the similar but slightly more premium Nothing Phone 3A Pro. So which of these is a better option for you? Let's put the Nothing Phone 3A and 3A Pro head to head and find out. Both the Nothing Phone 3A and 3A Pro are mid-rangers that offer some compelling features for the price and a unique design. I'll just cut to the chase here. These phones are nearly identical. The main difference is the cameras. The Nothing Phone 3A Pro has a 3x periscope telephoto camera, compared to a 2x zoom on the vanilla model. There are also different sensors on the main cameras, and the two phones have different selfie cameras. Also, while both phones use UFS 2.2 storage, the Pro model offers 50% faster random read and write speeds. Besides that, we're looking at two very similar devices here. With either phone, you have the unique see-through design and LED glyph lighting. The Pro model has the larger camera bump to accommodate its longer telephoto, and is a bit heavier because of that. Both phones have an aluminum frame and a glass back. And on either phone, you get IP64 rated ingress protection against dust and splashes of water. The glyph LEDs are a recurring feature on Nothing phones, and they can light up for several different purposes, including alerts. There's a dedicated glyph interface for controlling their behavior. And you can use the Composer app to create custom ringtones / glyph patterns. And a new feature debuting on both of these phones is the Essential key. It's used for taking quick screenshot notes. Clicking it will take the screenshot. Holding it down records a voice memo along with it, and double-clicking the button opens a place they're stored, called the Essential space. The Nothing Phone 3A and the Nothing Phone 3A Pro have the same display. It's a 6.77-inch OLED with a 1080p resolution and a 120Hz refresh rate. These displays are plenty sharp, and they have support for both 10-bit color and HDR10+ video playback. The max brightness is great too, around 1300 nits on either phone. That's plenty for comfy use outdoors in the sun. The 120Hz refresh rate smooths out your swiping and scrolling, and it can dial down to a low of 60Hz when the screen is idling to save energy. For audio, there's a set of stereo speakers on either phone. Loudness is very good, and you get decent sound with clean mids and highs and some bass. Let's have a listen. And for biometrics, you can wake up and unlock the phones using a responsive, optical under-display fingerprint reader. You can get both phones with 128 or 256 gigs of storage, and that's not expandable through microSD. The specific storage and RAM combinations depend on the market. Both of these devices run on the same software, Nothing OS 3.1, on top of Android 15. Compared to stock Android, it brings some customized aesthetics and custom Nothing widgets on the home screen. As far as Nothing-specific AI-powered features go, there aren't a ton, outside of the Essential space for your screenshot notes. The AI can make summarizations of text that you've made screenshots of, and transcribe your voice memos to text. And for support, Nothing promises 3 major OS updates and 6 years of security patches to either phone. Both the Nothing Phone 3A and Nothing Phone 3A Pro have the same chipset. It's a Qualcomm Snapdragon 7S Gen 3, known to be solid mid-range silicon. In benchmarks, these phones earn the same scores, and they line up well against mid-range competitors. And when using either phone, regular tasks and gaming feel plenty smooth. And during our prolonged stress tests, both phones perform great. They basically don't thermal throttle at all. Both the Nothing Phone 3A and 3A Pro have the same 5000 mAh battery capacity, and earn a nearly identical active use score in our battery life tests. The battery life is good here. There's support for 50-watt charging on both phones, and there's no charger included in the box. As expected, the charging speed is identical. Nothing too speedy, but it's decent. The Nothing Phone 3A has triple cameras on the back, which include a main cam, a 2x telephoto zoom, and an ultra-wide. The 3A Pro also has 3 cameras, but as I mentioned, the main cam has a different sensor, and there's a 3x zoom here, with OIS. Starting off with the main cameras. Despite the different sensors, these cameras produce nearly identical stills in good daylight conditions. Both phones use automatic night mode, and the results are nice, with good detail and wide dynamic range. As you may have guessed, when comparing 2x zoom, the Nothing Phone 3a has the advantage, with its dedicated 2x telephoto cam. The Pro model must zoom in digitally from the main camera. Still, it doesn't do a bad job. Now let's have a look at the same comparison, but at night. We see the same trend. Just like during the day, the dedicated 2x zoom on the vanilla model has the edge. At 3x zoom, the tides shift, and the Pro model has the better stills with its own dedicated camera. The vanilla models are a digital crop from its own telephoto's output. And in low light, the 3x periscope on the Pro obviously takes the better shots. So each has its own benefit at its native zoom level. Both phones can take close-ups with their zoom cameras too, but naturally the Pro model's telephoto has the benefit of magnifying the subject even more. The two phones have identical ultra-wide cameras, which do a decent job considering the hardware. There's no real difference between these photos. And at night, the ultra-wide shots are soft from either phone. The dynamic range and contrast are good though. Selfies come from a 32 megapixel front-facing cam on the Nothing Phone 3a and a 50 megapixel one on the Pro. The difference between the two isn't huge, but the Pro has a slight edge. The Pro model can also shoot selfie video in 4K, while the non-Pro's selfie camera can only shoot in 1080p. As far as the rear cameras go, you can shoot in 4K only with the main cam. Both the ultra-wide and telephoto are limited to 1080p. The main camera's 4K videos are great on either phone, and differences between the two would be hard to spot. At 2x zoom, as expected, the non-Pro model has the upper hand with its dedicated camera. And yet again, the reverse is true when you go up to 3x zoom. The Pro is the winner here. The 1080p videos from the ultra-wide cameras are comparable, and while the quality is not great, they're usable. Here's a look at a nighttime video clip from the main camera of these two phones. Again, very similar. And both zoom cameras do a great job of nighttime video recording, each at their corresponding focal length. So that's the Nothing Phone 3a and its brother, the Nothing Phone 3a Pro. With both phones, there's a large screen, loud speakers, a good chipset and battery life, and a nice set of cameras. The Essential key makes taking annotated screenshots a breeze. Plus, there are signature Nothing features like the see-through design and glyph lights. The Nothing Phone 3a takes better 2x zoomed photos and videos than its sibling. The overall experience is basically identical, and this phone is less expensive. The Nothing Phone 3a Pro has faster random read and write storage performance, for what that's worth. It has a better selfie camera with 4K video recording. And there's the 3x telephoto cam, which can take even better close-up shots. This is also the phone to get if you need eSIM support. Overall, both of these phones are quite solid, but if you're not interested in the longer zoom camera or the nicer macro shots or selfies, it could be worth it to go for the non-Pro model and save some cash. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.